Continuing Celtic Myths and Legends by T.W. Rolleston. Chapter 1, The Celts in Ancient History. Strabo on the Celts. The geographer and traveler Strabo, who died 24 of the Common Era, and was therefore a little later than Khazar, has much to tell us about the Celts. He notices that their country, in this case Gaul, is thickly inhabited and well tilled. There is no waste of natural resources. The women are prolific and notably good mothers. He describes the men as warlike, passionate, disputatious, easily provoked, but generous and unsuspicious, as easily vanquished by stratagem. And easily vanquished by stratagem. They showed themselves eager for culture, and Greek letters and science had spread rapidly among them. From Massilia, public education was established in their towns. They fought better on horseback than on foot, and in Strabo's time formed the flower of the Roman cavalry. They dwelt in great houses made of arched timbers, with walls of wickerwork, no doubt plastered with clay and lime, as in Ireland, and thickly thatched. Towns, thatch work is part of what defines a pagan or a heathen, right? Towns of much importance were found in Gaul, and Khazar notes the strength of their walls built of stone and timber. Both Khazar and Strabo agree that there was a very sharp division between the nobles and priestly, or educated class, on the one hand, and the common people on the other, the latter being kept in strict subjugation. The social division corresponds roughly, no doubt, to the race distinction between the true Celts and the aboriginal population subdued by them, while Khazar tells us that the Druids, Druid is the word for oak tree, taught the immortality of the soul. Strabo adds that they believed in the indestructibility, which implies, in some sense, the divinity of the material universe. The Celtic warrior loved display. Everything that gave brilliance and the sense of drama to life appealed to him. His weapons were richly ornamented. His horse trappings were wrought in bronze and enamel, a design as exquisite as any relic of Mycenaean or Cretan art. His raiment was embroidered with gold. The scene of the surrender of Vercingetorix, when his heroic struggle with Rome had come to an end, on the fall of Alesia, is worth recording as a typically Celtic blend of chivalry and of what appeared to the sober-minded Romans childish ostentation. When he saw that the cause was lost, he summoned a tribal council and told the assembled chiefs whom he had led through a glorious, though unsuccessful war, that he was ready to sacrifice himself for his still faithful followers. They might send his head to Khazar if they liked, or he would voluntarily surrender himself for the sake of getting easier terms for his countrymen. The latter alternative was chosen. Vercingetorix then armed himself with his most splendid weapons, decked his horse with its richest trappings, and after riding thrice round the Roman camp, went before Khazar and laid at his feet the sword which was the sole remaining defense of Gallic independence. Khazar sent him to Rome, where he lay in prison for 6 years, but was finally put to death when Khazar celebrated his triumph. The sense of surrender of Vercingetorix, I'm not entirely sure how that's pronounced, is not recounted by Khazar and rests mainly on the authority of Plutarch and of the historian Florus, but is accepted by scholars. Mum the Sun Long, etc., etc. Okay, But the Celtic love of splendor and of art were mixed with much barbarism. Strabo tells us how warriors rode home from victory with the heads of fallen foremen dangling from their horses' necks, just as in the Irish saga of the Ulster hero, Cuchulainn, is represented as driving back to Emania from the fray to Connacht, with the heads of his enemies hanging from his chariot rim. Their domestic arrangements were rude. They lay on the ground to sleep, sat on couches of straw, and their women worked in the fields. Vercingetorix, riding around the Roman camp. That's what that illustration is of. And desolate Bitara, forever and ever, is that illustration.